Hello, I'm Marjorie Benz with Edmonton's Food Bank, and I'm joined today with Omar from IFSSA. And we're so pleased to be talking about the relationship between Edmonton's Food Bank and IFSSA. And Edmonton's Food Bank is a central warehouse, and we collect and we just redistribute food to over 300 schools, soup kitchens, shelters, and other community organizations. Over the last while, we've seen increased pressure on our organization because there's more and more groups coming forward wanting food from us, as well as more people requesting hampers and support. Despite our wonderful donors and volunteers and supporters, we've had to look at how do we do business a little bit differently and support the people that are coming to us. So Omar, I've always appreciated the work that IFSSA does. You're working with a diverse group of clients who have sometimes complex needs. And again, when we hand out food to people, it helps them for a few days, but it really doesn't change their situation. So in a perfect world, we would like to be able to move people from dependency to flourishing, or to improve their quality of life, whatever terms that people use, to feel like they are more in control of their lives, that their children have more opportunities, and that their families are at a different place. So I thought maybe we could start by you telling about some of the great work that IFSSA is doing in the community.
Thank you, Marjorie. And I think the first thing I want to say is, we wouldn't be where we are without the tremendous support that Edmonton's Food Bank has given us. We've grown a tremendous amount in a relatively short period of time, and a lot of that is because of the strong partnership we've had. That partnership has allowed us to spend less time on the logistics and procurement of food, and more times on the relationships. So why people come to us? They come to us because of safety, security, and growth. We support the mother who's trying to flee violence while caring for her parents and her kids. We support the father who's looking for spiritually aware support. We support youth who want to grow and flourish in their community. We're an Imagine Canada accredited charity, just like Edmonton's Food Bank. We've won the Government of Alberta's Inspiration Award for Combating Domestic Violence, a Justice Innovation Award, and also really excitingly a YEG Startup Award for Innovation.
Can you talk a little bit about your food program in particular?
So our food program is joined at the hip with Edmonton's Food Bank. We provide more culturally sensitive, culturally aware food hamper, which means that it's very similar to what comes from Edmonton's Food Bank, but it's topped up with halal meat, so meat that conforms to the dietary needs of Muslims. And then it also includes more basic ingredients. So less processed food and more things like flour, oil, rice, things that people can cook with. And the reason we do that is, one, it goes farther, and it helps preserve the food skills and food knowledge people have.
And certainly food literacy and ensuring that people are able to cook at home and have, quality food is a nutritional food that they're requesting and needing is so important for people as they go through changes, particularly, right? So can you talk a little bit about the importance of data? I think there's sometimes there's a lack of clarity about why data is so important in the work of organizations like Edmonton's Food Bank or IFSSA.
There's two ways of thinking about data. Data is important if you care about the client. It's not important if you're doing this work to gratify yourself, which is sometimes an easy road to go down, right? We think like, I want to honor dignity and I just want to give people food. What that's saying also is you don't care about the nature of the relationship, right? Data becomes important if you care about your relationship with the person, if you care about their progress, if you care about tracking, if you care about collaboration. Data is sacrosanct. If instead you care about reporting on a large number, I'm not saying organizations do that, if you don't care about the impact, then maybe data isn't important for you.
Yes, and so for us too, that relationship with the client is important, and unless you know the client or have a little bit of a relationship, it's really hard for you to move people into and help people move into situations where they feel a little bit more supported and can make possible transitions if they're available. But the other thing is, for Edmonton's Food Bank, we use that data as a base so that when we're talking to the broader community or to government or decision makers, we have accurate data so that we can communicate the issues as we see them. So it's not just saying we're serving thousands of people, but we can say exactly how many people are and where, which client groups we're seeing the most growth in, and what challenges we're seeing that people are experiencing, so that we can also make not only individual changes, which are really important, but maybe more systematic changes, because that knowledge is shared.
We can't improve if we don't know how many people are we serving. Are we serving the same people this month than we served last month? Are people using our program for 3 months or 12 months? Those are all questions that we can only answer if we have good data habits.
I'd love you just to close with sharing a little bit about your vision around food security in Edmonton. That would be great, Omar.
I think building on the incredible work Edmonton's Food Bank has done is so vital. Right? I think what would be really incredible to see is when people are facing food insecurity, that we're addressing it holistically, that we're able to say, hey, someone's coming to us, and we know that we can not only connect them with one resource, which is food, but we can actually connect them with a whole suite of services. We can meet the underlying need they have, which might be isolation, might be a lack of income opportunities, might be better connections to other people. I think that only comes through the data work you mentioned, through the collaboration work, and thinking about how do we do this work together rather than in silos.
And just to close, of course, from our perspective, we have the Beyond Food program, which helps people primarily with employment and other opportunities to increase their food insecurity through income security. And we've had great successes with that particular program, but we can only do so much. So therefore, the partnerships and relationships with organizations like IFSSA are so vital to us, because we know that there's thousands of people who need this service out in the community. So how can we be strategic and work together and ensure as many people as possible are food secure?
One of the things you said is what could the future look like? And I think one of the things that's an unfortunate reality of food bank programs is they can often be very transactional. Right? And we know from all the data, we know from our own experience that transactional work isn't transformational work. Right? And so I think the future of food banks is, what are we doing to be more relational? What are we doing to legitimately put ourselves out of business? Right? And putting ourselves out of business means that we're not seeing the same people month after month, and that we're not thinking about the work in the same way this month than we did a year ago or 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm. All of our work is about people, and we all care about people. And so if we care about people, we need to be part of walking with them to make the world a little bit better.
And as partners, I think the work we owe Edmonton's Food Bank is to do that relational work, to ensure that we're not just handing out a hamper, but that we're spending the time with people. We did some research with the Edmonton Social Planning Council and the U of A a few years back. And one of the things that was really hard to hear, it was really piercing, is a lot of people who had been receiving hampers for years, what they said was, we really just wish you'd spent more time with us. Mm-hmm. We didn't know about this program or that program. I would have appreciated a conversation far more than a hamper.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So thank you, Omar. Thank you for all your work you do.
Thank you. We wouldn't be where we are without Edmonton's Food Bank. The partnership is incredible. And I think that partnership is about shared data, accountability, and really thinking about collaboratively addressing systemic issues.